Previously, actually, for LCAO, I forgot to give the assignments, but because of your awareness, one of the students' awareness that I can say particularly, I came to know those assignments are pending. So, yesterday or day before, I had given those assignments, but fair chance or fair time I had given to complete those assignments. Now, let us come to the paper 2 discussion. We were talking about the electron deficient compound. I remember that I discussed in detail the halides of boron BF3, BCl3, BBr3 and BI3. I want answer from you students. Among BF3, BCl3 and BBr3, who is strongest Lewis acid? Help me. Yes, Farin, right. Saurabh, brilliant. Yes, Gitanjali, Gaurav, Chirag, absolutely. BBr3 is a strongest Lewis acid among those. BF3 was expected to be the strongest Lewis acid, but it is not. And why is it so? That we have discussed in detail. But one thing is left because which is included in syllabus, a discussion about BH3. Now I want answer from you. If I take a strongest acid, say BBr3, and other, now the acid that I am discussing, that's a BH3. From industrialization point of view, industrial chemistry point of view, that BH3 is very, very important chemical. As a catalysis, it is used. What is your guess? BH3 will be stronger acid or BBr3 will be stronger? I am comparing among BBr3 and BH3. What is your view? One can unmute and talk also. I am not only the simple answer, I want explanation. If you could not answer, then reply in the text box. Okay, Mandara and Shilpa answered that they don't know. Jelina also answered, Akshata, Vasant. Okay, these are the few students who are answering. Okay, others are answering. Sanjeevani, Gitanjali, Janita, Gaurav, Shubham, Siddhi, Ganesh, Farin. Farin is guessing BBR3 is stronger. Farin, you are the only one student who has given the answer. Can you give explanation? Yes, Prathamesh, I am repeating the question. BBr3 and BH3, if you compare among these, who will be the stronger acid? That's the question, Prathamesh. So Farin has guessed it may be the BBr3. Farin, can you explain?
Because hydrogen is more electronegative than bromine. That's why I give BBr3. Just like BF3, BH3 will react like that way.
Okay, okay. Let us analyze it one by one. As per you are saying, if suppose hydrogen is more electronegative than bromine, as per our electronegativity idea or concept, hydrogen should attract, hydrogen should fetch, hydrogen should withdraw more electron towards itself, more electron cloud towards itself compared to bromine. It is a one factor, and because of that fetching the electron, because of withdrawal of electron, because of that inductive effect, boron will be in poor electron density. If boron is with poor electron density, then it will welcome coming lone pair very eagerly, spontaneously, fastly, abruptly. That eagerness means it will be the stronger acid if hydrogen is more electronegative. Oh, network was a concern. I was with no network, therefore I went out. Okay, I hope now I am audible to you. So if you consider electronegativity as a base, then if hydrogen is more electronegative, then BH3 should be the stronger acid. But along with electronegativity, that's a main point. We discuss one more aspect because of which Lewis acidity of BF3, fluorine is more electronegative. It was expected to be more, but it is not. Because of which concept, because of which idea, because of which phenomenon? I'm asking question to you. BF3, because of electronegativity, what was the logic Farin has given? It was expected to be the more acidic, but it is not. Because of which concept? Yes, Farin has given answer. I want further two answers. Is my question clear? Because out of 21 students, I am getting answer from only one. Could you hear me clearly? Okay, if it is, then please answer. No students, if you could not answer, then you have not studied previous aspect. Purpose of giving that recorded lecture that whenever you have the free time, you should readily access that. Means you are not studying, you are not spending time. If you could not invest time for study at this age, then when will you study? And I always during lecture I ask if you have any doubt or any question, then ask, because live interaction also is necessary. There also you do not remember the question not there because you have not studied, then it's a very worst thing. Out of 21 students, I am getting only one answer for the question. That therefore I am saying. Okay, Prathamesh, I repeat the question. Now it is for all. Listen carefully. Fluorine is more electronegative. So fluorine will take electron more towards itself, and therefore BF3 should be the more acidic than BCl3 or BBr3, but it is not. It is because of which phenomenon? It is because of which concept? One complete lecture I invested for that. Prathamesh, is my question clear now? Okay, Prathamesh has answered. Second student who has answered. I want at least one more. Yes, Mandar. Good. Back bonding. But I'm surprised that why others are not answering, because already Fareen and Prathamesh have answered the question. I said that they have answered, only you have to repeat that answer. It is due to back bonding, yes, and that back bonding is due to vacant orbital present at boron and filled orbital present at halogen. Listen carefully. That back bonding was due to vacant p orbital present at boron and filled p orbital present at halogen. So otherwise, or opposite to inductive phenomenon, electrons are moving from that electronegative species, say fluorine, to boron, or halogen to boron, and that factor is more influencing than inductive phenomenon. Therefore we were saying BF3 is a least basic compared to BCl3 and BBr3. Is that phenomenon clear? Okay, good. So in case of BH3, what happens? In spite of halogen, there is hydrogen. Listen carefully. Now here we are talking about hydrogen. Answer for my question. What is atomic number of hydrogen, or how many electrons are there in hydrogen? Yes, there is only one electron. And which orbital electron is there? Only one electron is there in hydrogen, and that hydrogen can form the covalent bond. That one electron remains in which orbital? Yes, it is s orbital, and s orbital is alone only one which can accommodate maximum 2 electron. It is not the aspect like a cluster of p orbitals where px, py and pz orbitals do remain. Students, are you following what I am saying? So if p orbitals are not there, then no orbital from that s can overlap with the empty orbital from the boron. So no orbital from hydrogen can interact with the empty orbital from boron. So back bonding is not possible in case of BH3. And because of absence of back bonding, alone behavior of the hydrogen or that's a electronegative phenomenon only will be applied there. In case of BF3, BCl3 and BBr3, electronegative phenomenon certainly is there. It is a scientific phenomenon, so it has to occur. But along with that, there is a back bonding concept, and that back bonding phenomenon is not there in BH3. Because of absence of back bonding, though, Fareen, listen carefully, hydrogen is less electronegative than bromine or chlorine or fluorine. Halogens are more electronegative. Hydrogen is not that much electronegative. So though electronegativity of hydrogen is less, but due to absence of back bonding, boron experiences more scarcity of the electron, deficiency of the electron, and therefore BH3 is a strongest acid. And that comparison I had not done, therefore I discussed today. So what is a conclusion of this discussion? Since back bonding is not there in the BH3, which is a dominating phenomenon in case of the halides of boron, BH3 is a strongest acid. Is this conclusion clear? Yes, it was a pending aspect and it could have wanted in the 5 minutes, but if you would have answered it fastly, we would have completed it. in short duration. Just wait. Yes, students, now I'll show the screen and we'll proceed now. Bonding in the diborane also I had discussed. Yes, could you able to see the screen now? Please reply. You have to unmute and talk.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good, good. See, diborane structure I had discussed in detail. Now about the preparation of diborane, let us think. It's a BF3, boron trifluoride, electron deficient compound. If we combine with hydride of lithium, listen carefully, hydride of lithium, hydride means charge on hydrogen will be plus or minus. I am asking question to you, hydride means charge on hydrogen plus or minus. See, if don't know, then say don't know, but you have to talk now. You have to unmute and talk because I could not see the screen at this moment.
Negative.
Can you explain that why negative? Which logic you applied? Because if you go on by adding the things, chemistry will become difficult. But if you understand the correlation in the terminologies, meanings of the few terminologies, you will make chemistry interesting.
Because it is living group.
Okay, if you can't answer, then say you can't answer.
Can't answer.
Because it is
Okay,
living
see, have you heard such IDE words? Chloride, bromide, iodide, oxide, sulfide. IDE indicates those are more electronegative species. Electronegative species means they will fetch the electron towards themselves so they can govern or bear negative charge. Boron trifluoride, IDE. So IDE is a common word that we are using to represent the negative charge. So that's the logic you have to apply. You have to correlate with your learning. And if you are failing to correlate, means you are not learning. It's a horrible situation. You have to work on this. I am trying my level best to make the study material available to you. And going through that study material, it is your responsibility. Without going through the study material, if you are expecting the concept should be clear, then it will be very tough. Passing also you can pass different tasks. And understanding concept is a different task, getting interest and doing. Whether you have to opt chemistry in future or not, that's your decision. But you should learn to learn the chemistry challenge for you. So what's the basic funda here? IDE, that's a chloride or hydride, means that atom is electronegative and is governing negative charge. Here lithium hydride, lithium is a metal. Metallic is electropositive. So it remains with the positive charge. IUM generally lithium, sodium, potassium, ammonium. IUM means those are preferably cationic, positive charge. So it's a basic things, and these basic things not necessarily should be there in the book. Those you have to read. That is called the reading between the lines or the understanding the concept. So that's the lithium hydride. So this lithium hydride when combines with the BF3, we get a desired product diborane, that's a B2H6. And here lithium borofluoride, LiBF4, LiAlF4, LiAlH4. Likewise, you might have heard. So boron is in boron. Below that there is aluminum. So in respect of boron, that's a trivalent aluminum will come. Charge on lithium is +1. Charge on boron is +3. +1 and +3 +4. So to balance that +4 charge, 4 negative ions should be there. So 4 fluorides are here. There can be 4 hydrides also. Hydrides are negatively charged, that I said. I repeat, see here. Here BF3, boron is with positive charge here. Fluorine is with negative charge. Boron is with positive charge because it is electropositive. It has metallic character. And fluorine is with negative charge because it is electronegative. It is a non-metal. Everybody has its own tendency to fetch the electrons or to give the electron. In second compound, lithium is electropositive. It is a metal. It can tend to give electron. And hydrogen is electronegative here. It is relatively. Previously when Parin was saying at that time, hydrogen we were comparing with whom? Halogens. Compared to halogens, hydrogen is less electronegative. But compared to metal, say lithium, hydrogen is more electronegative. So here see, positive charge is on boron, negative charge on fluorine. Positive charge on lithium and negative charge on hydrogen. Students, are you following what I am saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good,
Yes,
good. So in reaction, what happens? Preferably, positive portion of the one compound interacts with the negative portion of the other compound because reaction is going to occur there. No, therefore, while doing research, while deciding those compounds, you should know the few additional concepts. But let us understand the few basic aspects. Positive aspect of this, that's a boron, and negative aspect of other, that's a hydride. They will combine and to form this B2H6 compound, B2H6 compound. And other, what should be there? Negative portion of one compound and positive portion of the other compound. So lithium and fluorine, they should what? Combine. But their chemistry doesn't match perfectly. Why? Because lithium is somewhat prefer covalent bonding and fluorine prefers ionic bonding. Expectations of them are different. Though the charge point of view they can combine, but expectations are different. So direct bonding is a tough task. Less or poor bonding may possible there. With sodium, with cesium, it can strongly form. But with lithium, it is an issue. So many times lithium compounds are used for that purpose. If we want such a combined compound, then lithium is used. So what happens? Lithium ask boron to help and combine effect occurs, lithium and boron. And that combined effect, combined positive effect, lithium is positively charged, boron is positively charged. So now lithium and boron both are positively charged. So combined positive charge is +4. It can combine with negative ion. Which negative ion is there? One is fluoride and other is hydride. Now in that computation, fluorine is more electronegative. So fluoride prefers to form the bonding. Directly if lithium remains, then it will not dare. But because of boron and lithium, then the linkage between them occurs. But in overall, if you see the charges, positive charges, lithium carries +1 charge, boron carries +3 charge. So total positive charge +4. So how many fluorine should be there? 4 fluorines. So 4 fluorides. So LiBF4, it is the resultant compound. So I repeat, BF3, boron positive, fluorine negative, LiH, lithium positive, hydrogen negative, positive of one say boron, combines with negative of other say hydrogen. So boron, hydrogen, then afterwards positive, negative I am saying means ionic bonding partially remain there. In covalent bonding also ionic bonding may not possible, and we get such kind of compound called as electron diffusion compound named as diborane. And remaining product, how is obtained there? Lithium needs help of somebody, boron comes for the help. So boron and lithium, they together combine and react with the fluorine. So LiBF4. Total, if you see, hydrogens are 6 needed in product side. So from reactant, LiH is producing hydrogens. So 6 lithium hydrides are what necessary. About fluorine, here during balancing will come to know if 6 lithium are there, then here 6 Lib should be there. If there are 6, means lithium carries +1 charge, bromine carries the +3 charge, so +4. To balance that, the -4, so 4 fluorides are necessary. 4 fluorides, but 6 such molecules, 6 into 4, 24. To balance that 24, 8 BF3 molecules are necessary. So balanced equation to form diborane is likewise. Is that method to prepare diborane clear to you? You need to work for 2 methods. Yes, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now other method is lithium aluminum hydride. It's a good reducing agent, and this will form again the diborane. And instead of lithium aluminum hydride, we will get now lithium aluminum chloride. It's a nature of aluminum. Aluminum is electropositive, so it will prefer to form a bond with more electronegative species. And what aluminum is going to find? Chlorine is there, who is more electronegative than already hydride. Hydride, nobody was there. Therefore, as an adjustment point of view, aluminum and lithium together decided to combine with hydrogen. If alone lithium would have been there, it will prefer hydrogen. But when boron or aluminum comes along with lithium, then it will prefer more electronegative species. As in upper example, it has preferred fluorine, now it will prefer chlorine. So all hydrogens will get replaced by chlorine. So that was our interest. So boron will get the chance to combine with hydrogen to produce electron deficient compound. Which is that compound? Diborane. And here other where in spite of aluminum, again the boron is what? Sodium boron hydride. But here in spite of lithium, again the sodium is used. So such alkali metals. Then group 13, boron, aluminum metal, and then hydrogen, with which if we combine the halides of boron, we can. So one method, hydride of lithium. Now one may be with the question, suppose if we combine hydride of sodium, then see, sodium is electropositive. So sodium and hydride bonding is not so strong as like the hydride. So basically that hydride will be unstable. Therefore, in case of hydride, we got only one example. But when we consider tetrahydride, a combined power of metal, lithium and aluminum, sodium and boron, in such cases, see, lithium can also be used, sodium can be used. But when lithium is there, lithium is what? Less electropositive compared to sodium. So more electropositive metal is that's aluminum. Sodium is more electropositive. So less electropositive metal will do. I repeat. Now listen carefully. First group elements, the upper is hydrogen, forget. Next is lithium. Below that is sodium. Below that potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. So lithium and sodium, these two we are comparing. As we move from top to bottom, as we come from up to down, what is your view? Electropositivity or metallic character will increase or decrease? That was the last year syllabus.
Increase it.
Right.
Increases.
Increases. So sodium is electropositive. Sodium is strong metal compared to lithium. Comparison I am doing. Lithium also is a metal, but comparison point of view, sodium is electropositive. I hope you are getting this point. Keep in mind that's a sodium potential, ability of sodium to be electropositive. Other hand, come to group 13 elements. Boron is the first element. Below that there is aluminum. Answer for my question. Among boron and aluminum, who will be the more electropositive? Same logic as you from top to bottom, electropositivity increases.
Aluminum.
Only one answer I am getting.
Aluminium. Aluminium.
Two answers. Right. Aluminum is combined with less electronegative metals. See, among these, it's a combined power, no? If aluminum is dominating, aluminum is strong metal, then one monopositive metal can be the weak metal. If sodium is a strong metal, then a tripositive metal can be the weak, less electropositive. Therefore, combination is likewise lithium aluminum and sodium boron. It is not lithium boron and sodium aluminum. Are you understanding the basis of the chemistry? If confusion is there, you can ask. If you have to repeat, then also you can ask. Just waiting for replies. Are you getting whatever I said about lithium, aluminum, sodium, boron?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then why are you not replying? Okay, fine. Delay is there in reply. Be spontaneous
Because
to
of
reply.
network issue.
Okay, network issue. Maybe from my side also poor network is there. Okay, fine. So likewise, we decide the compounds. So if you understand electropositivity, electronegativity, metallic character, then the memorization also remains easy. And when we get a logical aspects, then interest also will develop. Only if you are reading as like reading newspaper or only words point of view, you are thinking this chemistry, then it will be difficult. You are not learning chemistry. Then you are learning only just the words or the formulae. It will be difficult to remember. But logic of the electropositivity, metallic character, if you apply, then compound which to take, that you will understand. So anyhow, from one electron deficient compound, say BF3, we can prepare other combo electron deficient compound called diborane. So in your syllabus, the preparation of diborane is included. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
At least one reply I want.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes,
Go on giving the spontaneous replies. Okay, as like diborane, the furthest tetraborane also we can have the discussion. But at least you focus on what the diborane. Tetraborane only the concept behind that, if you understand, then also will do. So banana kind of bonding, bridge the bonding, complete detailed study about that diborane we did last time. Okay. See, industrially preparation. I said no, lithium, then hydrogen. But see, industrially these are not on normal conditions. Some extraordinary sophisticated conditions they need to apply. That's a sodium hydride with which they are what combining. Which one? BF3. While discussing our reaction, I told you about the lithium hydride. Okay, tetraborane, which is liquid in form, its formula is B4H10. Okay, it is a structure of diborane. It's a banana kind of bonding. Their orbitals and overlap was what represented. If you have to read this diagram, then how can you read boron, boron, upper hydrogen, lower hydrogen? These are in plane of our paper or in the screen. This one hydrogen, which is shown by a solid wedge line, is towards us, pointing out of the screen towards us, and this dot line represents that hydrogen is behind the plane, behind the screen. This hydrogen behind, this hydrogen upside. It's a three-dimensional understanding about the B2H6 structure. So these notes you will find the perfect structural understanding, how the bonding occurs, 2 center, 3 electron. So various ways by which I attempted to explain the bonding in diborane. Okay, few properties of the diborane are there. It is colorless, highly flammable gas. So whatever the diborane we're talking about, which is used as a fuel also for the rocket propellancy. Means diborane is used for as a propellant for rocket. It's in the fuel of the rocket. It is a gaseous state and is highly flammable. Immediately it will catch what the fire. But where highly flammable? At room temperature also it is highly flammable. And at high temperature, it ignites rapidly in the presence of moisture, air at room temperature. Means if water also remains, moisture remains, then also it will catch a fire at high temperature. It is a property of diborane. What you learn from that, what is its color and what is its physical nature at room temperature, and how violent it is to react with water at elevated temperature or at high temperature. Its boiling point is 180 Kelvin. It is represented Kelvin. Boiling point means liquid converts to vapor. Answer for my question, that 180 Kelvin is lower than room temperature or higher than room temperature? Students, could you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Then answer that 180 Kelvin is lower than room temperature, higher than room temperature. See, if you don't know, then say don't know.
Don't know.
Okay, one answer. Other answer? What other students are doing?
Don't know.
Lower.
Prathamesh, you raise the hand.
Yes, sir. I am replying, but voice is not coming to you.
Voice is not coming. What is your
Voice
reply?
is not coming. I am replying, but voice is not coming sometimes.
What is your reply?
Lower than room temperature.
Don't. Okay. See, Kelvin is an absolute scale. No, could not hear. What you said, Prathamesh?
Lower than room temperature.
Right. Lower than room temperature. Pratham is saying lower than room temperature. What is the base for that? See, what is the room temperature? Approximate room temperature. 25 degrees centigrade, 30 degrees centigrade, 33 degrees centigrade.
Don't know, sir.
Degree centigrade, and here the scale of the temperature is in Kelvin. So how can we obtain Kelvin from degree centigrade? We add there one number. Which number we add? Suppose if room temperature is 27 degrees centigrade, then what is its absolute temperature? What is Kelvin temperature? How to find Kelvin temperature? We add one number. What is that number? How do we find absolute temperature? Capital T. Absolute temperature means Kelvin temperature.
Plus 273.
Plus, could not hear it, Prathamesh, clearly.
Plus 273 Kelvin.
Yes, plus 273 that we will do, then we will get the temperature in Kelvin. So if room temperature is 27 degrees centigrade, then 27 plus 273. What's the answer? 27 plus 273. What's the answer?
300.
Yes, 300 Kelvin.
300 Kelvin.
300 Kelvin. Room temperature if 27 we consider. Suppose if temperature is 0 degrees centigrade, ice, then what is the absolute temperature?
273.
Right, 273 Kelvin. If temperature is minus 3 degrees centigrade, then what will be the temperature?
270.
Yes, 270 Kelvin. Unit is important. Now temperature is 180 Kelvin. So question is 180 Kelvin means how many degrees centigrade? How to find degree centigrade? That final answer minus 273. Subtract 273 from 183. What's the answer?
Minus 93.
Minus 93
3.
sorry, minus, no, point 15 will be there, minus 93 degrees centigrade. See, means its boiling point is so low. Ice, if you consider ice temperature, if you consider is 0 degrees centigrade. Further cooling, if you consider, it can go to minus. Means if you go to fridge, at domestic fridge, you will find minus 2, minus 3, minus 4 degrees centigrade. But if you go to the now or professional, or where in ice parlor they use that the ice as a freezer, deep freezer, they can go to minus 10 degrees centigrade, minus 20 degrees centigrade. That's a low temperature. If you take dry ice, we can go to the minus 40 degrees centigrade. But here Prathamesh is saying it is minus 93 degrees centigrade. So it's a too low temperature. At that temperature, this diborane boils. Diborane liquid converts to gas. Every compound has its own physical constant. Are you following what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So its boiling point is given, and boiling point is 180 degrees centigrade. It's a very low temperature. It's a minus 93 degrees centigrade. That's a hint is given. So that understanding to you will be there. How that diborane is a gaseous, liquid. So that will improve our cognizance, and therefore these properties are given. And one important point is a toxic gas. So the second property is boiling point is 180 Kelvin, and it is a toxic gas. And you need to draw the notes. These are the properties of the diborane. See the third property. It releases a huge amount of energy when burned in presence of oxygen. It is so passionate to react with the oxygen. Oxygen from water also it takes oxygen. It reacts vigorously with oxygen. And if oxygen remains there, then very spontaneously reaction takes place. And huge amount of energy gets generated. Therefore, I say it is used in rocket as a propellant, as a fuel. You can consider in simple way. So third property, generation of huge energy by reaction with oxygen or by burning in presence of oxygen. Okay. Fourth one, diborane readily hydrolyzes in water to give hydrogen gas and boric acid. See, from water it snatches oxygen. If any river is there, sea is there, in water contains in that, from that we can bring out fish or other aspects which are not tight. This is not a compound water, but compound water, H2O, from that oxygen is snatched, oxygen is removed. It needs that much ability to combine and remains with that diborane, and it spontaneously reacts with the water, readily undergoes hydrolysis, or it readily hydrolyzes in water to give, or to splits water. One part hydrogen with which it is not interested more. Other part oxygen it combines. But when boron and oxygen combines, then they need some more thing, and that is the acidic hydrogen or the protons, and we get a interesting compound. That's a boric acid. Have you heard this name, boric acid, else before? Where you heard this name? Yes. Did you come across boric acid powder? Have you experienced a boric acid powder?
Insecticide.
Insecticide. Yes, absolutely. Therefore, while preserving grains, this boric acid is used. But therefore, when we bring the grains, then we expect it to wash that for that purpose. It is little toxic, so we need to wash the grains, because for preservation purpose it is used, boric acid. And other common use, this as an insecticide, what Prathamesh said, absolutely right. Addition to that, other use is there. What is that?
Buffer solution.
Okay, buffer also is used. Other aspect I want. As a preservative, it is used there, but other aspect. In one game, this powder is used. While playing one game, this powder is used.
Carom board.
Carom.
Yes. That spark should be immediately wise, because when you purchase it, there is written no boric acid. And as a student of chemistry, you have to see the composition. You will find boric acid. So it is used as a carom powder. Nowadays, other granular powders are also available. Other talcs are, different kinds of talcs are there, and those also are used. But at the beginning, boric acid was vastly used as a carom powder. Okay. our point of interest was the diborane. So diborane can form. So boric acid we can form from what the diborane. And boric acid is a weakly acidic. Though 3 hydrogens are there, it is a weakly acidic. So these are the 4 properties. So you have to draw the notes of this. So today what you need to do as an assignment, you have to compare BH3 with the other halides of the boron, their acid strength. This is number 1. Second, you have to work with the preparation or synthesis of the diborane. 2 methods of synthesis I want in your notes. And third one, properties of diborane. These 3 points you have to cover as a notes of this lecture. So students, answer clearly. Is assignment clear to you? What exactly you need to do? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, others are answering the chat box. Okay, good. Okay, I hope the concepts are clear to you. And students, if anything is not clear, no, be free to ask. Simple about the chloride I ask, bromide I ask, IDE, that's a suffix. This is the common sense. Means you are not learning. Or miss, you might have taken this for the time pass. Likewise, I am finding, see, you don't waste your time as well as money of your parent. This is a chance for you to the study. Is my message clear to you? Okay. So this recording I will make available by night, and sufficient time I will give for the assignment completion. Complete previous assignments also and study well. And these live sessions are for discussion. Okay, then let us discuss in the next lecture now. Shall we stop now? Okay, I'm going to stop the recording and I suggest you quit now.